G'day fellas, welcome commanders. Today we're on all that glitters, and hold on a minute, we're not in the tech position. That's kind of weird. Anyway, welcome, we're on the front today, and that is because, well, we asked for the tech position. I have no idea how to play any other spot. And we didn't get it. So here we are. So in this video, we're going to be talking through my thought process with regard to the tech position about how we played this game. Of course, you'll be familiar with the fact that, you know, I used to be a Glitters player. I had the ability I used to be a Glitters player. Then I switched to Isthmus, and now we're back on Glitters. And I'm still not comfortable 100% talking while playing. And because of that, it means that we have to do this. Basically, we're looking at a replay instead, which is a good thing because it means that we can spend more time going in depth and talking about it. So let's talk about our philosophy and let's make sure that we can actually see what we're looking at. So first and foremost, you'll see a lot of players just go 2 solar and then go straight into a lab. I'm of the opinion that it's much more beneficial to actually go for the single wind turbine just because it's much better to have a full energy slider all the way at the end when you finish your lab. And the reason why is so that you can immediately boost units as much as possible. And the first thing that we're going to start doing is boosting out ticks. Now, often you'll see players utilize scouts, ticks, rovers, rascals, get them out over to the enemy side of the base, look for raids. That's definitely something that you can do, but I don't really feel comfortable doing that right now. So what I'm going to do is put my ticks out. And one thing to note is I'm not putting them in the middle of the map, because the further you put them away from your base, the more opportunity your enemy's got to attack you from a specific position that you're not prepared for. So by keeping them here, we, number one, scout out for any inevitable attacks, and number two, we're able to defend ourselves and have a little bit more flexibility in how we go about defending our position. After this, we're going to play very greedy, going straight into 5 construction turrets. Sorry, construction bots, not 5 construction turrets, at least not yet. We will get 5 construction turrets, so I will tell you that right now. But also in this, I want to show you, there's something that I want to talk about a little bit later on that we'll get to, but essentially, I think I might have found something pretty cool for the tech position, but we'll talk about that as we move a little bit further on. And here you can see part of the reason of being back here is so that we can match these rovers, but fortunately our commanders here forces them off, and it naturally means now that those rovers are going to get taken out, so we don't have to worry about them anymore. So the early raid there from our opponent has been unsuccessful because of those early ticks, so very important to get them out in the early stages of the game. You can go into pawns as well, but it's just so much more expensive, delays you pushing out, so that's essentially it. With regard to pushing out, now keep in mind this is my first front game, so I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes in this game, so please, if you do see any, please leave them in the comments. If you want to be abusive, feel free to, but I probably will put you in a video, so just beware. Just be aware of that, all right? It's a public comment, and I will make it public. Anyway, so we're going to push out with our commander slowly through the middle. He's flanked on either side by constructors. These guys are going to be picking up our metal extractors along the edges here. I'm still not sure which ones are ours and which ones aren't ours, so I'm always hesitant to extend a little bit further. But the main goal is that we want to get down to this 3.2, and we really want to secure this 3.2. That's essentially it. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, because we've got a little bit of extra energy, you can see that we're overflowing. That big boost every second is energy being overflowed. I say, you know what? We're just going to go straight into a construction turret. Look to get a little bit more BP back here. We've always got the ability to reclaim our solars as well, so we should be keeping this in our mind constantly that we want to do this. With regard to our units, you can see that we've gone for a couple of pawns just to reinforce the front, and then after that we're going straight into rocketeers. Now when it comes to the way that I like to play my front, I normally play a little bit more passive than the average bear, and that's normally, you know, I play front the way that I, as a tech player, would like my fronts to play, which is basically feeding metal to me. So we're essentially relying on our tech player here. We just want to try and stay alive as much as we possibly can while we wait for that inevitable fat boy that is going to come through, right? Well, wrong. Unfortunately, for this game, there is no fat boy. There's actually something that I'm not going to say it's necessarily better, but it definitely did create a bit of an idea in my head.
Self-destructed.
So we picked up a little bit of a free kill right here. We're doing a decent job in securing all of our metal. You can see at the moment how many metal extractors are we sitting on. Doesn't matter. We're sitting on 27 metal per second, which is quite nice. And we're also making sure that we stick the Dragon's Teeth in front here. Dragon's Teeth will do well to block out against the Lashes or the Slashes or the Whistlers, whatever they're called, but not particularly well against the Janus. I'll just say that right now. And because of that, it means they're able to hold out for the moment, but we will lose these mexes eventually. Meanwhile, we're going to start spamming Rocketeers. And one of the things that I love to do is spam out Dragon's Teeth, but get them like spread like this, so you can change the distance between them. I much prefer to like have them like this. You spam them out like crazy, and you basically just get your Rocketeers to go in and out. So if you stick a Rocketeer on repeat and then like do 2 separate moves, they will just keep going back and forward on that. So it's kind of like a patrol. The problem with patrol is that if they find a specific unit, they will just stand still and they will attack it. Whereas if you do this move command where you've got them on repeat, they will just keep moving and they'll fire every opportunity that they get, but they're not going to get stuck down, bogged down, that sort of thing. Now, the other thing to note is I also like to be quite passive with my defenses. I don't know whether or not this is the right call, but that's just kind of the way I like to do it. Just mainly because I know that there's going to be a fat boy coming in inevitably. And so the further forward that we are, the less space that we've got, right? But if we can go for a jammer here, it means that we can bring up our commander all the way to the front here. And I guess technically there's probably more room for the enemy to take because of that. So maybe I should probably change the way that I'm thinking. But you can see we're already starting to feed metal back to our backline player. He's actually provided us early T2. And I think this is quite interesting because normally when it comes to playing the tech position, as we're now repairing, when it comes to playing the tech position, normally what you're doing is providing your air player with T2 first, but he's actually opted for the best player on his team. He's going to provide that, well, I guess, in this game, the second best player on the team, because he is the best player on the team, or the highest skill player. Let's put it that way, all right? But yeah, he's prioritized going to us. We're not even ready for this at this stage. Don't worry, like we can make use of it, but normally by this stage, there's 2 things that we need to scale before we really start scaling our metal, and that is number 1, build power. We need to make sure that we've got at least 2 construction turrets, ideally 3 to 4, around this initial ring here, and then we also want to start scaling our energy and storage, those 2 together, because as you can see right now, we just don't have the energy to support this. We're sitting at 1200 metal right now, which is lovely, but at the same time, it's not really that useful to us at this stage. So while yes, it's nice having that early T2, you also need to be very aware of scaling towards or making sure that you are scaling so that you get that. And you can see us losing quite a few rocket bots here. The matchup between rocket bots and Janus, I think it's a relatively fair matchup, but it definitely just comes down to micro and making sure that you are dodging those rockets from the Janus. You have to be very careful about how you play against them, and you've got to make sure you can't really make a single mistake. And the other thing to note here is the commander is particularly weak against those Janus, well, as you're about to see, just how much damage we're able to get knocked off here. It is a huge amount of health that we are now missing, and all of a sudden we're going to have to retreat off the front line. So one of the things I've done here is I've actually asked for a fat boy from our tech player, because we're sitting at 7 minutes 30, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, where's my fat boy? Like, there should be a fat boy here soon, right, guys? Like, he's a good player. He knows what he's doing, right? Like, surely there's going to be a fat boy here any second, but there's still no fat boy. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried because, don't get me wrong, I'm loving the T2. Everybody's got their T2. You can see them coming out. But what he opts for is something a little bit different. Now, I would say this is kind of like the old school way of playing where you just kind of spam out T2s to everybody. You don't really look at getting units onto the front line. But the units that he actually brings to the front line are very helpful. And particularly the combo that he's going for, which we're going to talk about. I'm going to look at exploring this as an option in a separate tech video, but I will just kind of spoil it for you now. It is snipers. Snipers as the option, and not just 1 sniper, but 2. And there's a very specific reason why we want 2 snipers, which we'll talk about shortly once you can actually see those. So coming back to our front though, talking about what we've got, the first thing is that we've got construction turrets. These are incredibly important just to repair things. As you can see, we've lost quite a bit of health across our units. We've lost our metal extractor. So if we can repair things, we can keep them alive. And now we're going to put down that metal extractor. But of course, the enemy is already starting to push up here. We've got the beamer. We've also got some light laser turrets here as well. We've also got the second commander. Makes it very difficult to push into this. Of course, that is until there's a fat boy. But fortunately, on the enemy side, there's no fat boy either. Both players are going for T2, and that just makes it very, very, it just makes it hard, right? Neither side can really push here unless they want to. Neither side, I don't think either side has gone for a Guardian. I can't remember what they're called, apologies. Oh no, here we go, a Gauntlet coming up right now. There's the first of the Gauntlets coming up, and that kind of breaks the deadlock a little bit, but you can easily out-repair a Gauntlet, so I would be surprised if this does much work. But as I said, the Sniper will be coming soon, and that's going to be doing a lot of work. Another key component to the front line is just the Sneaky Pete, the jammer. It is so incredibly important to have this bad boy because it allows you the flexibility with your commander. And you can see that we've got a lot of storage sitting back here, and it means that in the event that the enemy was to push in with some T2 units, we could bring our commander up here cloaked, and they'd never be able to touch us. They'd never be able to see us. And then we'd be able to get those sneaky little D-guns off that we've seen quite often against our own fat boys, or at least our allies' fat boys, definitely not ours. Meanwhile, we are finally scaling our energy back here. We've got 4 construction turrets, so we've scaled our build power as well. And this is really where you want to be. at this stage right here, maybe like you could probably get away with 2 or 3 advanced solar collectors and, you know, 4 construction turrets. This is where you want to be when you get your T2. So I think looking back on this, like one of the ways that I would probably improve is making sure I'm scaling my BP and my energy a little bit sooner than what I did in this game. Because in the event that you do get a fast T2, it's, well, you're not going to be able to handle it. Let's just put it that way. Meanwhile, towards the front, we're just kind of waiting for the inevitable. So here's the first of the snipers. The first sniper is going to get put down. And the good news is that's not the only sniper. And you can see me in the chat saying, need a fat boy, not a sniper. But the good news is we can still make it work. So the idea behind the fat boy is that the fat boy is going to come out and immediately it's going to start putting pressure on the front. So we've got an Overwatch that's here. It's going to die to the fat boy. We've got these sentries. They're going to die to the fat boy. It's going to push the commander back. It's going to push the entire army back. The army is going to start having to collapse. It's going to have to move down towards this position. That's the whole idea of a fat boy. But the truth is, the sniper has one ability that is a little bit better than the fat boy, and that is its ability to completely win fights without ever engaging. Let me show you what I mean. Let's ride on board here with Mashed Potatoes. That's our current name. I'm going to be switching up the name, so just keep in mind we won't be Mashed Potatoes forever. So number 1, we're going to change our snipers from fire at will. They're going to turn now to hold fire. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to cloak them. So incredibly important that we do this. Cloaking together with hold fire allows us basically to just hit whatever target we want. You can see right now we're actually working down the commander. What's the health of the commander? Commander's still full health right now, and we're looking at it. We're seeing it. It's just kind of standing here on Ref Show, not really aware, not really paying attention. He's a decent player, OS 30, and now we see the commander's down to 46 health. He's looked to come back away from this, but the snipers have still got line of sight, and because of that, it means that in the middle of his entire army, undefended, well, not undefended, but his commander just goes up in smoke. He didn't really have an opportunity to react. He could have definitely reacted a little bit sooner, but obviously, like, we knew that there was a sniper out, but the 2 snipers is really what makes the difference here. And the reason why is because they can 2-shot together. So if you've got 1 sniper, it's going to take you 4 shots. If you've got 2 snipers, it's only going to take you 2 shots. Now, of course, there's going to be people that say, well, we should just get 4 snipers then. Well, 4 snipers is a lot of investment. I'll say that right now. Hard to justify the initial costs, let alone those energy costs that continue over the game. I really consider this, you can see we finally got them on hold fire right now, and they're visible for the moment, but hold fire is the key here. We want to go hold fire, and then we select the target. So just pressing S and then going like that, selecting the specific target we want to hit. And what that does is it allows us to be very specific about the targets we want to hit. We don't want to hit ticks. We don't want to hit pawns. We don't want to hit grunts. Our main focus is just on hitting big ticket items, commanders and fat boys. And I think that's where the secret for this comes in, because, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to credit Papa Smurf with this because he's just made snipers and he's brought them in at like 11 minutes, but I think there's actually something to be said about a sniper rush. And I've talked about this with higher OS guys, and you can see we're just kind of wasting our snipers right here, so a little bit of a mistake from me. We're issuing a fight command, meanwhile we're on hold fire, so just a huge misplay on my part. Oh, you guys will like this play right here that's about to come up. This is what I called the keyboard dying play. My keyboard dies in the middle of this fight right here. The worst part is when your keyboard dies, you can't press P on your keyboard to pause the game so that you can plug the charger in. And so I have to turn my keyboard off, turn it back on, wait for it to come online, and then hit the P, and then tell them that somebody's at the door. That's essentially it. So now our pawns move in over towards this side, and right now the keyboard's died. I'm trying to degun. Oh no, hold on. You'll be able to tell because I won't be able to degun anymore. There'll be units that come into range, and we can click and we can move and we can do all that. But when you're trying to use hotkeys, it just kind of breaks your brain, and you can see him spamming on it. And all of our pawns are now just going to go idle. We're just clicking on the commander, moving. There's a degun right there. I think we've clicked it on the UI, and we're just kind of locked in. You can see everything just standing here, and I'm trying to reset the keyboard, and there we go. And now the keyboard's back here, but we've lost so much. We lost so much from that, and unfortunately, we also do lose our commander to a single stumpy, excuse me, a single stout, and in the end, it goes down. But the good news is, we've already done some pretty decent damage. There's a lot of reclaim out here as well, so the enemy commanders are going to be eating quite nicely, and you can see someone even in the chat saying AFK, and me saying right here, my keyboard dies mid-fight, couldn't move pawns, FML. It's, yeah, the consequence of playing with wireless devices is that they do have batteries inside, and they don't always last forever. So, yes, that is unfortunately it. But one of the things that has become evident at this point is that we are online. Like, when it comes to the amount of resources that we've got, we are absolutely pumping. And I think this is really key, that whenever it comes to playing on the front line, you want to have a nice blend of units. I don't like the idea of just completely reclaiming my T1 lab and then just going all in on T2. I like having that nice blend. Whether, oh my lord, what was that? Was that my own fat boy? I think that was my own fat boy attacking here. How many pawns did that guy just kill? It doesn't have the kill count, but I would estimate that we just lost like 15 pawns to our... Oh no, he's going again! Oh my lord! Mashed potatoes, watch out with your damn fat boy, son! Oh lord, now that's our fat boy that we made. That poor guy's out here. So this is the combo that I'm kind of liking at the moment as well. Fat boys together with sharpshooters, just together with pawns. And it feels really good, because the fat boys are able to control the crowd, the pawns are able to stand in the front, provide that shield, and the snipers are able to deal with any of those big high-threat targets. When you've got this kind of big ball rolling, you don't want to put your snipers on hold fire, but you do want to be setting them targets. That way they prioritize anything that comes into range specifically. So here our focus is definitely on moving towards the OS 38. The truth is, when someone's got this much OS, they've obviously been able to carry a lot of games. So the longer we leave him alive with resources, the worse it's going to be for us. So we want to try and take him down as quickly as we possibly can. And he's got quite a bit of units in here as well. We see the ambassadors that are already out here. He's got some bulls as well. And there's a T2 lab over towards his position, though I don't think we know about it at this stage. Actually, no, I take it back. We do know about it at this stage because of the air. The air has just flown over it. So that immediately becomes a bit of a target in my mind. But meanwhile, back towards our base. A key component of any frontline base is scaling. We want to make sure that we do not forget scaling. Of course, at the end of the day, a lot of our metal income is going to be coming through from our T2 mexes, but we still need to make sure that we've got energy to use that metal. And that's exactly what this is all about. So we can see our second fusion is now coming up. We've also done a little bit of a split here. I haven't worked out exactly how I want to build my bases yet on the front line, so that's something that I will have to work out. But you can see now we're up to 4 fat boys on the front. We've also got Lazarus coming out. They're doing a little bit of, at least I thought they were doing a little bit of repairing. They need to do a bit of repairing. Would you guys mind over here? So the fat boys are able to give really good control. We've got the jammer, the radar out here as well to provide assistance. And we're a thorn in the side of the enemy right now. As you can see, we're really starting to push quite a lot of troops out towards this position. And when you look at the resources that we've got, we're sitting at 157 metal per second right now. I think some of that is going to be reclaimed, but the majority of that, up to 169 now, is just going to be our T2 mexes. And that all really just goes back to the fact that we've been trusted by our backline. Our backline player has said, hey, we're going to trust you. Instead of giving the first T2 over to air, we're going to give it to you instead, and we're going to hope that you can carry. You can see the sniper there providing that extra little bit of damage. We're able to take out that bull. I love how the Rex slides as well. Like, he died here, but the Rex slides all the way over here. Such a nice little attention to detail. And so we've kind of been stalled out a little bit by the enemy at this stage. We're at the 17-minute mark right here, and it looks like our game is actually running at the correct speed, which is always nice. I had to fix that up a little bit before the game. One of the things I was thinking about is maybe also mixing in Centurion, but I was comparing the Centurion to the Welder, and I think maybe just going Welder is probably better. They're basically the same cost. The key difference is the Welder is about double the energy to the Centurion, and the Centurion feels a little bit better with dealing with like ticks and spam just generally. So I'll have to review this, but essentially, like, I kind of want to channel the way that Stardom played when he was playing his front line, like just this idea of non-stop spam coming out from your T1 lab, your T2 lab, and eventually your T3 lab. That's essentially the way that I would like to see it go. But if we do a little bit of a check-in right now, our opposing front line is nowhere near as strong as we are at this point. He's got Pork up down towards this south position, this Rattlesnake. It's very late for a Rattlesnake, though, and you can see his ally even saying nice right here. But the reality is this isn't going to defend. In worst case scenario, we just go somewhere else. We go take a look some other lane. So we're going to stock up a little bit on the front line. We're just going to wait it out for our forces to build up. I think one of the things that we want to do is at least wait for our sniper numbers to build up. Once you're at about 4 to 6 snipers where you can really start one-shotting these backline units consistently, then that's where it's I think, probably the best for it to be. But quite a bit of a push now starting to come out from the enemy team. If we check back in on our side, how are we doing back here? We've got 2 Junos. So these Junos have just been built, and this is going to be key in the push. Because as you can see, the enemy is making quite a bit, or at least they were making quite a bit of ticks. This is actually their backline. Their backline player has come online. 2 APHIS to his name at the 19-minute mark. Not a bad amount. Our backline player, how's he doing? He's got 2 APHIS to his name as well, or at least 1.5. They've both got 1.5 APHIS to their name. So they're very evenly matched here, and both helping out. And you can see this is all of these red units here are coming through from our backline player, our tech line player. So definitely helping out with this push quite a bit. And once the Junos land, as you can see, those missiles now firing off. I think that was the second one that's coming through somewhere down here. And that's going to allow us the ability to just move past or just really push into the fight without worrying about all those little ticks, and will just give us great coverage. And so from here, another T2 lab going to come down on the front. We've got a whole bunch of constructors following around our T2
Commander
as he's
destroyed.
continuing to put it down, and we can see now the blue commander has gone down from the enemy. Keanu Weebs, a great name as well. Can I just say that? A play on so many different things. You know, a play on the lisp, a play on just Keanu Reeves just being an absolute G, but also being a bit of a weeb himself. So wonderful name. 10 out of 10 name right there. But now the death push, and I think this is really where it just becomes so unstoppable when you've got this amount of Fat Boy, and you've just got a huge amount of spam. You've got the Starlights that are assisting out as well. And you can see GG now being called and the resign vote getting thrown up. We're just going to do our best just to run in and try and take out as much as we can, just make sure that it happens. But I think we've made a decent contribution in this game. We've been a thorn in the side of the blue player throughout this game. At the same time, he never really pushed through the canyon. So we were fortunate in that our players, despite being outmatched here by him, were able to hold for as long as they were, because normally in this lane specifically, you would expect this player south of the canyon to be able to push into the canyon by like 10-12 minutes, somewhere around there. Like after the first Fat Boy, it becomes very difficult to hold, but now you can see we're able to push through. We've got the Centurions out, massive reclaim fields here. And behind the scenes, and you can see someone saying, oh wait, it's Strongo. Yes. Yeah, not everybody's caught onto the new name just yet. I will be changing it soon. I don't know which way we're going to go. Do we go food themed again, or do we switch it up? But yeah, I mean, at this point, let's take a look at the statistics, just get a bit of an idea on where we currently sit. So with regard to metal produced, always the most important stat, we're at 97k. And the closest on the enemy team is 90k. That's Molly. That's the enemy backline player. She's doing quite well. Got a lot of advanced energy converters out here, but obviously not able to keep up with just the simple fact that we've got the T2 out early. We've done well to scale our BP back at home for our labs, to continue scaling our energy, and ultimately, at the end of the day, to scale our frontline constructors as well. And that's naturally meant that we're able to keep that military going. And in the end, we're able to take the cow. We're able to get absolutely every single award, including the Trader Award, which should be coming up soon, any second here. There we go.
Ended.
So I think we destroyed our own units more than anything. I don't know about you guys, but that big shot that we saw from the Fat Boy, that was kind of wild. Other than that, efficient use of resources, destroying enemy units and defenses, and enemy resource production. And so I think it really just comes down to the snipers. And so just to talk a little bit about that, the snipers open this game up completely. Right, the fact that we were able to grab that early commander kill means that we're able to kill his entire army without losing ours. A second commander tries to come in and save the day. We kill that commander as well. And because of that, it means that the enemy's front line is completely evaporated. They've lost all their units. They've now got to invest more in units. Meanwhile, we're investing more in scaling our economy. And that really is what opened up the game for us. So huge shout out to our ally here, obviously, Papa Smurf, doing quite a good job in this game. So well played to him. And we'll leave it there, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.